Hey, welcome to another episode of Inquiring Minds. I'm Steve Harper, and with me, as always, is my co-host Donna Carlin. Donna, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm really great. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about today's conversation. So, what are we talking about?
Okay, so before we dive in, how could you be excited about a conversation that you don't know what the topic is yet?
Well, easy because I have a track record now. I think this is episode like 77. So I've had 76 other conversations with you where we have just absolutely dove into really interesting topics. So I don't know what might be lying ahead, but I have confidence that whatever it is will be interesting. Therefore, I'm
Okay.
excited about it.
And you're close. Today we are number 80.
Oh, today is 80. Oh my
Today
gosh.
is 80. So there you
Wow.
go. Something else to
Whew.
celebrate.
Okay. Well, now I'm even more excited about today's
There you
conversation.
go. So I was thinking about this because of many conversations I've had with a client that I'm working with. And it also recalled conversations I'd had with my son years ago when he was really little. And that is happiness is not a destination. It's not a new relationship, not a new job, not a goal or house. Until you give up the idea that happiness is somewhere else or conditional upon somewhere, something, whatever else, you are never going to be happy right now.
Hmm.
Happiness is not going to be where you are right now. And I think I might have mentioned to you years ago after one of my son's surgeries. I think it was like a 25-hour surgery to 80% of his body, and he's in intensive care um, uh, right after the surgery. And he asked the attending nurse where his anesthetist was, and because he wanted his joke, and she said to him, "Look at what you look like. Look at what you've just been through. You want a joke?" He said, "Yeah, Dr. Willie always gives me great jokes. So
Hmm.
he's usually here when I wake up. Where is Dr. Willie?" And I think he was 7.
Wow.
And the nurse said to him, "Michael, I don't understand you." He said, "If I waited for everything in my life to be perfect, I wouldn't be happy. I'm choosing to be happy." He was 7. I mean,
Yep.
obviously, he had been coached from the time he was 2, because that's when I started. So he had 5 years of coaching in this, but that was him. And he said, "I just want my joke. It just gives me a smile."
Yeah.
And so we went and found Dr. Willie so he could give him his corny joke. And what was amazing was his outlook on life.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you waited for things to be perfect, were they ever perfect? And we're not going into perfect according to you. We're going into when is life perfect or doesn't hand you something to have angst about. This is really a great thing to reflect on.
Hmm.
What is your perspective on this?
Well, let me clarify, right? So you're thinking, just to make sure that I understand, the whole topic is, happiness is really at the end of the day is not a destination, right? And you're applying this in a way that, if I get this job or I get this promotion or I get this raise or, I get the new house, those things, those activities that people put so much angst and anxiety towards to get and achieve. Once I get that, I'm going to be happy, right? And you're explaining that it's not that at all, right? Those things don't define whether we're happy or not happy. Is that right?
Happiness is a choice, it's not a destination.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it. So you choose to be happy no matter what.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, so my perspective, and it's very timely because literally yesterday, I was having a horribly busy day and I was not feeling my best because I had injured my back at the gym. And I found myself sitting at my desk and I was writing something out and I just broke into a smile. And I had a laundry list of things that needed to be accomplished, a lot of things that would add inevitable layers of stress to me. Plus, I wasn't feeling good physically. And yet, somehow, some way, I realized in that moment that I was actually really content and really grateful and very, to your point, happy in that moment. And I really took the time to recognize that in that moment, not knowing we were going to even have this conversation today, but I recognized it and actually had to jot it down in my journal because what caused it, why did it
Mhm.
happen at that moment in that situation, have not a clue. But the thing that I think was really relevant was that I recognized it as it unfolded. Did it last for the whole day? No. never never seems to hold on as long as we'd like it to. But in that short little burst, I realized, hey, I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing at exactly the time that I want to be doing it. I'm in control, and I'm able to be grateful for the opportunity. That gratitude actually helped me realize that I was happy in that moment. And I think part of these conversations that we've been having all along is recognizing how we're feeling in the moment, the things that we're going through, the experiences that we're having, and then asking those questions. And for some reason in that moment, the happiness factor came up, and I realized, wow, this is a situation that I would not have ever given any thought to had it not been for us talking through some of these questions and some of these different scenarios. I probably would not have appreciated that moment for what it was. And believe it or not, I woke up this morning thinking about that moment, not knowing our topic was going to be this today, but thinking about, okay, how many more times today can I have that same experience? What can I do? So it's just for me, it was a really, like you said, a very important topic. For me, it's a very relevant experience because it felt like, I was on the highest high that I could possibly have in those moments. And did I, did I, uh, you know, create anything significant in those moments? Not necessarily, but did it really feel like contentment and happiness inside for me? Absolutely. And that was great.
It's so funny, on my phone, it pops up with, 4 years ago today, 3 years ago today, with a picture to remind me of
Yeah.
things. And this morning was a picture of a cop, you know, um, standing there with a big smile on his face. I had just met him after the tornado hit the house, and he sort of adopted us, and I ended up working with him. And I'm thinking, this is 4 days after the tornado hit. The house is catastrophe, right? You see debris everywhere, and there's Louis standing there with his big grin on his face because I said something ridiculous as usual. And I'm thinking, there were so many good times in the middle of that hell.
Yeah.
Like, it was unbelievable, and people were asking me then, how do you have such a smile on your face? That people were wailing because they lost
Yeah.
things. And I'm going, they're things. You're standing here talking about it. They're things. And look at the great people that I'm meeting along the way. There's always, it's the choice. I'm not doing the glass half empty, half full thing again. Um, we had talked about that. This is
Yep.
more a choice. Now, there's a caveat here. That caveat is for people who are suffering from depression, any kind of emotional or mental illness or issues. I understand that that is a medical issue that you're dealing with. I
Yep.
am not in any way minimizing any of what you're going through. And I
Yep.
want to get that out on the table. This is for our everyday lives, for the bulk of the people who are listening, who attach happiness to things, attach happiness to something that is totally outside their control.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I'll be happy when I have a new house. What's wrong with where you're living right now? It's a shelter. It's a place where memories were made. It's
Yeah.
it's a container for your life, to keep you safe and to keep you nourished, in ways that it can. Same thing with a car. Do you have the capacity to get from point A to point B? You do. It might not be a car, it could be Uber, it could be a taxi. You could still get there for the most people. That's what I'm getting to. Um, and when we can make it conditional on something else, I could guarantee you, once you got that house or that car or that new promotion, then you're going to be looking at what's next. And
Mm-hmm.
happiness is going to be deferred to the next situation, the next item, the next thing. And you are not going to be happy because it's never going to be enough.
That's right. Yeah. I think that the choice factor is a big one for our audience to take away. In those moments, it's a choice to realize whether you're happy or you're not, or recognize, what's going on in your world that, is good, maybe things that aren't maybe so good, but what can you pull out of that could make you smile or inspire you or motivate you. And I think I guess that's kind of why yesterday was so revolutionary for me, because I really had not really ever uh, I won't say I've never felt that way, or actually been able to put it into that context, but it was literally spending the time in that moment to honor that moment for what it was, because it felt good and it felt right. And it was sort of a game changer for the day, even though I had a whole bunch of things that I really was dreading and didn't really want to address. Somehow having that was kind of like taking that extra shot of espresso that sort of gave me my energy and my motivation to make the next right decision, or to check that next thing off my list. And before you know it, I had gone through the list of things that I really had been dreading and wasn't looking forward to. Not only did I accomplish them and get them done, but I got them done in a way that made me even happier that they were now off my list. And I felt like I was even, the buzz continued, right? All the way through the list of really kind of savory activities that I had to do. And then I rolled right into having a conversation with someone that I had not necessarily been looking forward to, but was able to turn that conversation into a positive experience, mainly because I think I was coming into it with the right mindset, the right attitude. And like I said, it didn't last the whole day, and it rarely, these moments are fleeting, and they often are. But if you can hold on to them for as long as you can hold on to them, and you can celebrate them when they occur, I think you have the potential to really change your outlook in so many ways.
For sure. That's it. I think we need a good hard talking to when it comes to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like this reality check thing that okay, listen to yourself,
Yeah.
ask yourself the critical questions. First of all, am I happy?
Yeah.
And what's stopping me if I'm not? That's
Yeah.
not thing related
Yeah.
or outside your control related.
Yeah.
And I think that it usually comes from within ourselves, that we don't feel that sense of happiness because we're disappointed in ourselves for something we didn't do, something we didn't try, something we're not exploring, not accepting ourselves for who we really are, trying to be someone else. Like all these things are little facets of this question. Are you trying to emulate somebody else and then think that you'll be special? You are special. How
Yeah.
do you view yourself as that? If you view yourself as special, comfortable in your own skin, really know who you are, you can be happy with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate your weaknesses, have a weakness party. That's it's a scream. We talked about in your ripple pond
Mm-hmm.
about, having a not a great impression of yourself. And what if I can't be perfect or don't know things when I walk into a room? Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Celebrate it. Walk
Yeah.
in and say, I suck at this. I do that all the time now. Just for the record, I suck at this. So you know ahead of time. And
Yep.
they just crack up. They just
Yep.
crack up.
Yep.
And it just takes all the weight because you're actually acknowledging that you don't know something. What is so bad about that? It
Yeah.
actually engenders help from everybody. Oh, I'll help you with this. I'll help you with that. No problem. That's what you get. You don't ever get somebody say, well, get out of here. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're doing. Nobody ever does that. They
Yeah.
always offer even more help. So you're just stopping yourself from getting all this great support and interaction, which is energizing,
Yeah.
right? Because you are where you are, acknowledge it, be happy.
Yeah. When you like you said, when you make your happiness contingent on things or other people, you'll inevitably stay disappointed. Right.
Yes.
But if you can give yourself a break, whether it's trying something new for the first time, whether it's a particular skill that you're not great at, but you've got the humbleness to be able to acknowledge that and ask for help when you can. And in those special moments when things are really going really well, you don't need to put it on a billboard. You don't need to tweet it. You just need to lean into it and embrace those moments and celebrate them. And I think that when you start looking for them, it's kind of like the feedback we would give our business leader clients that we work with in a coaching or consulting capacity is, when you catch people doing things right instead of catching people doing things wrong, it changes as an entire culture, right? And it is one of the best leadership strategies. But how many times do we turn that mirror towards ourselves so that or put that mirror in front of our face and say, okay, what are we doing right? And what are we celebrating? And what makes us happy in those moments? And when they do occur, don't let them just flit on by. Stop, pay attention, recognize them. And the more that you look for them, the more that they will show up.
I started doing that sometimes. It's kind of freaking my husband out. I'll walk in and I'll go, I am really proud of myself. I said no to this. Or like he'll look at me and he goes, where is this coming from? I said, I do so much in a day I don't even pay attention to it. I'm all in, right?
Yeah.
When I'm speaking to clients, whatever, I am all in. And for the first time I did something differently and I was really proud of myself for doing that. I no longer put the weight of the world on my shoulders thinking that I need to have huge growth or huge shifts or whatever. No, I'm actually happy that I say no maybe once in a while.
Yeah.
The young woman, doctor, I call her, she's extraordinary, that I work with uh, for content creation for the Royal College. She was here for dinner the other night with the kids, and she just looked at me and said, do you sleep? I said, I do.
Yeah.
Not only do I sleep, but I disconnect, and I tell my clients I'm disconnecting, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And when we first started in our careers, we want to be on 24/7 so that people have access to us, and we're so, proud to wear that badge. No, I'm proud to set the stage and model the kind of life that I want to have, as well as the work that I do.
Yeah.
So when I'm on, I'm on. When I'm off, I'm off.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
There you
great.
go. Yeah.
Well, I'd be very curious about the feedback from our audience. What, when you think about making the choice to look at, that happiness is a choice, where do you look for and find those opportunities to celebrate it? We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know. And certainly would love any feedback or input that you might have on this episode or any of the episodes that we've actually done. Now this is episode 80, as I just learned. So it makes me even happier that we've got 80 in the can. But Donna, how could people let us know what their thoughts are and how, what they're taking away from this or other episodes, and maybe topics that they might like us to cover in the future?
Join our Facebook group, Inquiring Minds with Donna Carlin and Steve Harper. All of our podcasts and our YouTube videos are posted there. You could comment, tell us what you want us to talk about, how this worked for you, didn't work for you. We want to hear from you. We want you to be a part of the conversation. So join that. You could get us through our website. Steve is at ripplecentral.com, King of the Rippler. And I am at donnacarlin.com, Carlin with a K. And our podcasts are available everywhere. So whatever you prefer, or the YouTube, you could actually post comments on our YouTube page.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Donna, the choice I'm going to make is I'm going to go find some more happiness moments today because I was such a buzz with it yesterday. So I hope you will do the same and have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Talk to you soon.